The anime starts with a teenager Yume and Mizuto becoming step-siblings after Yume's mother Yuni married Mizuto's father, Miniaki. One day, when Yume arrives at her mother's house to meet her, she discovers that her ex-boyfriend Mizuto is her step-brother, Thunderstruck. Luckily, their parents are unaware they once had intimate 6 months ago, making the whole ordeal incredibly awkward. Not wanting to upset their parents, they choose to keep it a secret. Later, Yume goes to Mizuto's room and asks him not to call her by her name anymore, as she is the older sister and prefers to be called Oni-chan. Mizuto disputes this, as they were both born on the same day, but Yume tells him that her father mentioned that Mizuto was born at 11:34 a.m., while she was born at 11 a.m. To determine which of the two was to be the older sibling, they make a bet. The first to demonstrate behavior unbecoming of step-siblings will lose. They forget that this is not Kaguya-sama and begin to move their pieces to win. Yume decides to check a very personal drawer to make Mizuto angry and make him lose the bet. He politely approaches her, asking her not to fight anymore and apologizing for the way he has treated her. So Yume remembers the time when they were boyfriend and girlfriend and accidentally calls him by his last name. At that moment, Mizuto proclaims himself as the winner and asks Yume to call him Oni-chan. He begins to celebrate his victory but apologizes when she gets angry at the way he manipulated her. This angers Yume even more, who storms out of the room. The next day, they both have their high school entrance ceremony and discover they are in the same class. Yume quickly becomes popular for giving the commencement speech since she got the best grades. She also quickly became popular among the boys who approach Mizuto only because of her stepsister. This annoys Mizuto a lot as he hates those kinds of people. Therefore, she pretends to be very clingy to her brother so that they will leave them alone. Back at home, their parents warn them that they will be back late. So Mizuto offers to cook and she is embarrassed as she remembers that she got too close to Mizuto when she tried to drive away his suitors. After bathing, the two have an awkward moment as Yume tries to provoke him by wearing only a towel and was about to succeed, but her towel started to fall off. Fortunately, he helps her stay covered up. Yume tries to leave embarrassed by what happened, but they both fall on the couch and are attracted again. Just as they were about to kiss, her parents arrive and Yume hides under the couch. At that moment, they both remember that they can't stand each other anymore because of these things. Later, Kawanami approaches Mizuto to befriend him, but Mizuto is unfriendly and replies that he will not approach Yume. Kawanami tries to convince him that he has no bad intentions toward her sister and makes him see that Yume blushed at what he said. Later, while measuring Yume's big bust, a girl named Akatsuki Minami discreetly observes and asks her about her bra size. Yume reveals that she is a D size, and to keep Minami from being discouraged, she tells her that she used to be the same size as her a year ago. Akatsuki is happy about this and hugs her. In gym class, Yume discovers that Minami is very good at sports and tries to keep up with her, doing very well. But on her way out she faints and Mizuto catches her. The next morning, Mizuto tells Minami that Yume is sick and Minami asks him to visit her after school. Upon arrival, Yume blushes to see that she has a friend who cares about her. Mizuto and Minami cook together and she begins to ask him if he has ever had a girlfriend, and what it would be like with Yume if he had one again. When they finish, Minami takes the food to Yume's bed and helps her eat. Before leaving, she makes Mizuto uncomfortable by asking if he and Yume are nothing more than step-siblings. Yume falls asleep holding Mizuto's hand and he begins to remember how their relationship used to be when they were high school sweethearts. When she wakes up, Yume starts asking Mizuto for many things and Mizuto asks her to take his temperature again. Mizuto discovers that she no longer has a fever and has been taking advantage of him. Yume apologizes for this and they have a kawaii moment. Once upon a time, when they were dating, Yume used to treasure every gift from Mizuto in a chest. To this day, she still keeps Mizuto's underwear. After thinking that he would make fun of her if he discovers this, she decides to return them to him. As she was about to get to her room, he came out of her room with a bra in his hand. They begin to ask each other for explanations, but finally, they both admit that they broke the rules. They then agree that each would have a special order to which the other could not say no. The next day, Yume sees Mizuto with a strange girl and feels jealous, especially because that girl has the look she used to have before. When she returns home, she finds the girl's shoes and asks Mizuto on the phone to buy her something. She tries to go talk to the girl but finds Mizuto coming out of her room. Yume interrogates him with questions about the person he brought home, but Mizuto replies that he doesn't know what she is talking about. In the evening, they both question what happened, and Mizuto remembers that Minami disguised herself that way to go on dates with him so she could be closer to Yume, with whom she has become obsessed. After remembering this, he calls Kawanami on the phone to talk about Minami. He tells her that Minami used to have a boyfriend that she was obsessed with in high school, and lived for him and doing all kinds of crazy things. After this, Kawanami tells him that it is necessary to put limits on Minami so that she won't bother Yume with such things anymore, so he confesses a plan to her. Mizuto goes to Yume's room and uses the special agreement they had made that they couldn't say no to each other to ask her out on a date. While waiting for Mizuto, Yume remembers how dates with him used to be and starts to think that it is not strange for two step siblings to go out together, and she has no reason to feel uncomfortable with this. When Mizuto arrives, she blushes at his appearance and begins to feel very attracted to him. As soon as they arrive at the aquarium, a flashback of Mizuto reveals that the date was Kawanami's plan to stop Minami's obsession with Yume. Mizuto realizes that she is suspicious of his kind behavior and feels uncomfortable about this. They both take some time to go to the bathroom, and Mizuto takes the opportunity to ask Kawanami how the plan is going, and questions whether what he is doing is right. Meanwhile, Yume has some flashbacks of when they used to date and everything was going great between them. They talk on the phone and Mizuto goes to meet her. After they meet, they both act natural and really start to enjoy their time together. Mizuto meets Minami and Minami tells him that she will try to give up her obsession with Yume, acknowledging that she was the one who was at his house the day before. When Mizuto returns home, Yume makes him a photo session using his special order. It is Mother's Day and Yume asks Mizuto to accompany her to buy a gift for Yuni. He refuses, as he doesn't feel like leaving the house, but changes his mind when he sees Yume ready to go out. They both head to the shopping store to look for the gift they want, but find nothing to convince them and end up giving her roses. Yuni is very happy with this gift and cries with joy. Mizuto has the idea of giving his mother a day alone with his father, so they spend the night at his friend's house. Kawanami admits that he and Minami used to be very close friends, but that they have grown a little apart despite living next door to each other. The four of them go to a restaurant for dinner and have a good time together, and they laughing at Mizuto, who doesn't know how to use the vending machine. When they return home, Yume and Mizuto see the moon from their balconies, remembering that this is how they fell in love. With exam season fast approaching, Yume strives to beat Mizuto academically, but discovers that Mizuto is purposely lowering her grades to let her win. She becomes angry and begins to berate him. Mizuto tells her that he is going to beat her now and leaves her in second place. This makes Yume relax and stop trying to be perfect. She understands that this is what Mizuto had been trying to teach her and goes to look for him to confess her love again. When she arrives, she finds him talking to Isana, Mizuto's new friend. Seeing them, she tries to hide her jealousy when she sees their chemistry. But the next afternoon, the two of them meet and Isana admits that she and Mizuto are just friends. Isana receives an anonymous letter threatening to tell her secret if she doesn't show up at a coffee shop after school. When she arrives, she meets Yume and Minami, who questions her about her feelings for Mizuto. And after showing her a video of him sleeping, she admits that she likes him. Upon learning this, they both offer to help her win Mizuto's heart. Obviously, Yume doesn't want this, but she also doesn't want to look suspicious. Then they observe how Mizuto behaves with Isana and notice that he only sees Isana as a friend. They help her with her makeup and encourage her to confess her feelings. When Mizuto arrives, they hide and listen to their conversation. Isana confesses that she is attracted to him since he doesn't treat her like a freak and likes spending time together, but Mizuto gently replies that he loves her as a great friend, but her feelings belong to someone else. Yume hears all this and starts crying because she doesn't want to intervene in Mizuto's relationships. Episode 8. Despite all this, Isana still spends a lot of time with Mizuto and enjoys it. Yume and Minami encourage her to try again, but this time they help her dress in a different style. Isana goes to Mizuto's house and spends the afternoon with him and Yume reading books in his room. She confesses to Yume that she never stopped being in love with Mizuto, but that she is much happier being his friend. Upon returning home, Isana is accompanied by her friend and asks him not to stop being a good friend to her. On the way back, Mizuto wonders how things would have been with Yume if they had never dated. Years ago, Yume met Mizuto's room and thought they were going to make love for the first time, as there was no one at home. But instead, they spent the whole afternoon reading books. When it got late, Mizuto walked her back home and they both regretted for the rest of the day that they didn't. This tension increases when they are placed in different classes and Yume begins to make friends. Since she has never had friends before, she talks to Mizuto all day about it, but he angrily replies that he is not interested in her friends. Later, Mizuto feels bad about this and plans to apologize to her the next day. Yume refuses to go out with her friends to go talk to Mizuto, but she sees Mizuto in the library talking to someone else and becomes jealous. When they finally talk, she accuses him of cheating on her and they have a loud argument. Their fight went on for months, so the relationship deteriorated and they broke up upon graduation. Back in the present, the two argue about not having done it the first time. While studying, Yume is frightened by a cockroach in her room and goes to ask Mizuto to let her spend the night with him. They both reproach each other again for not having made love. The next day, Miniaki tells them that they are going to visit Aben, and Yuni recommends that they buy swimsuits. They both go to the mall and Mizuto helps her pick out her outfit, but they both blush at looking like that. As they leave the mall, they pass by the place where they had their first kiss and begin to remember it, making them about to kiss again. Back at home, they receive a visit from Asana, who suggests watching a movie. She lies on Mizuto's lap and makes Yume jealous. When Mizuto falls asleep, Asana tries to kiss him but is stopped by Yume. After this, Asana admits that she would like to have a friends with benefits relationship with Mizuto. When Asana returns home, Yuni jokes that she could make a good couple with him, but Yume cannot imagine a life without Mizuto. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and click the bell icon to get new anime recaps.